Welcome back, YouTubers. This is going to be my video on how I made the pressurized beverage can stove. I saved y'all a little bit of time. What it consists of is two bottoms, same size, this, and then a 9/64 drill bit, which I use here. When you begin, you take your Coke can. I drill my hole first. After I drill my hole, I then take it over here, which I have a little setup. I have a razor blade with two screws that keep it firmly in place, and then I set my can here and I start to turn on it. And what I do is I gouge it. It takes a while. It takes at least a good 15 minutes to get it all the way cut through. But once you get it cut through, then you can push it apart, and I do that to both of them. After you get those two cut, basically, let me get my camera set up here. Basically, you'll end up with your two halves and then your fiberglass filler. It is good to have a spare can. Reason being is for your top, because you want to run it over here so you can kind of get a little bit wider of a lip, so it will fit over the bottom since these are the same size. Once you get your two halves, just get a ball of this. I put it down in here. You don't have to be uniform or anything like that. You then take your upper top and run it over your can. Just kind of flare that out. Now this takes a little bit of patience. Sometimes it doesn't want to fit perfectly, and you kind of got to work with it. Might want to widen it out a little bit more. Alright, finally get it on there. You want to squeeze down as much as you can. And it's good to have your hole in there too before you do this, otherwise it'll take forever. Once you get it over there, it is good to take a piece of wood. Hopefully y'all won't fall down while I'm doing this. But then you take it, you try to hammer it as flush as you can until it doesn't go down anymore. As you can see, you kind of end up with a little bit of a lip all the way down there. I myself then take my hammer and kind of adjust that lip to where it closes all the way around it so you don't have a sharp edge. And so you kind of get a roll like that. Now you have your complete can. What I've been using to poke my holes is just a little thumbtack, just like that. A little thumbtack. Hold on, let me see if I can. There you go. I don't have any specific way that I put it in there. I just try to line it up. I do put it right here in the groove. I don't know if you can see that. Similar to that. And I go at a decent angle, nothing too much. Just hammer it in there. And then I go across from that hole. I just line this up. I go by eye. I don't go by any kind of specific measurements. I'll try to get it in between here. I do a cross pattern first, and then I work my way around the rest of the way. And I'll try to go between these two here. The can itself takes probably about a good 45 minutes to make, depending on how long it takes for you to cut your two halves. Once you get your halves apart, the only frustrating part is really fitting the bottom, it can get a little frustrating at times, but you do have to be patient. And like I said, it's all about flaring your upper one out to make it fit over the bottom. And again, this one you do have to prime. I'm working on trying to get me some kind of priming table set up. Right now I'm just using an old license plate. There we go. Alright, now that you have all your holes all the way around, you have your inner hole, I do take an old nail and I stick it in here, just to kind of make like a little bit of a hole in there. Once you get that done, you can then take and add your fuel. Some people use the heat. I just get this at Walmart. It's 91%. I think it's like $2.50 for this big jug, which is 1 quart. And then you can just start to add your fuel. This fuel is a little bit slower to fuel, to actually add your fuel than some of the other ones, because the other open tops, all you got to do is just pour it right in there. This one here, like I said, it does take a little bit longer because it does have to go through such a little hole. And then just a little bit more. Make sure all your fuel is in there. And what the point of the penny is for is because that's what relieves the pressure. When you put it on there, sometimes you'll hear it pop and things like that, and all it's doing is relieving the pressure. Once you get done filling it up, you can just add a little bit of alcohol around it, and then go ahead and catch it on fire. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights off for a little bit. I believe this takes about 30 minutes for it to, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds or so for it to prime. Might not have put enough alcohol, but it should blossom here in just a few. You can probably see a light flame. Get you a little bit closer here. And as you can see, they're starting to blossom out of the jets. There we go. And there you have now you have all your jets working. There's an upper view of it. And then my next stage is trying to make something to go over it that will where I can actually set a pot or a pan on. This method is okay with the nails in it, but I wanted something more of a rack, like a fold-up rack that I could use as well. But there's your flames, and again, you know, this lasted you know, almost 20 minutes with 1/8 of a cup of alcohol, which I thought was just great. I mean, that should be enough to boil your water for anything that you might need. But it's much more lightweight, a lot easier to carry, and much cheaper. I mean, like I said, if you mess up on the can, it's okay. I mean, Coke cans don't cost that much, especially if you gather them up from work. That's what I did. I'm not a big Pepsi or Coke drinker. So what I did is I collected them from work. My next one will probably be with the 24-ounce Bud Light can. Now this I do drink, but that'll probably be the next one that I do. And just kind of wanted to let you know it's a fairly simple process. You know, the longest part is just again cutting it. What I used with this was just a 2x4, clamped it down on the table, put my blade in there, and then I set my can. And then all you got to do is turn it until it gouges, and eventually it'll cut through. And then once it cuts through, you can usually just push it and pry it in. It's kind of like this as the gouge goes around. But that right there is a beverage can stove. it's it doesn't spill, and you know, it's one of those things that I like about it. You know, if you were to knock it over, alcohol is not going to come out of it. So, but there's your beverage can stove for your pressurized. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. And until the next video, y'all take care, and hope you enjoyed the video.